magic, you can like dice it. I do magic, love it. Yeah, my flow's on destructo disc. Too afraid to cuff a bitch. This boy's on that sucker shit. Bitch, your price enough shit.
Hello YouTube, it's your boy, Forest Green, back at it with another video. Today I'm here with a kind of like a discussion video. This is kind of my thoughts on the whole All Sunday versus Chuck debate on, I think it was Cooler versus New 52 Superman. Pretty much just going to give my opinions on both parties. So I'm going to start off talking about Chuck in this situation. I feel as if Chuck could have done a lot better in this debate. I feel this debate was a lot, just shit. This debate was very messy, just very chaotic, a lot of discord. But regardless, I'm going to pretty much give my points and pretty much just give you what I thought, who won the actual debate, and stuff that both combatants could work on. I'm going to talk about the pros, and I'm going to talk about the cons, of course. So of course I'm going to start with Chuck, and I'll talk about All Sunday in a second. I'm going to talk about the cons first for both combatants. So I'm going to start with Chuck now. So in terms of like the debate, like at the end of the debate, the ad hominem comment that was made towards on All Sunday, I felt was very childish and, to be honest with you, very unprofessional in terms of the debate. You shouldn't be throwing like ad hominems at your opponent. You should be attacking the argument. Ad hominem should never be really used in a debate because it doesn't amplify your argument. You're just trying to insult someone on a personal level. And if you folks want to insult each other, do that outside of debate. Outside of the debate, don't do it during the debate. It really doesn't amplify your point. It makes you look worse in that situation. And of course, the lack of respect that I got from watching the debate with Chuck. Chuck, in terms of respect, he should have let All Sunday speak. Now, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have, it doesn't matter if you're Jesus Christ. This applies to everyone. You should always give your opponent basic moral respect in terms of the debate. And what I mean is, with respect, I don't mean you're supposed to be buddy, love them, hug them, all that stuff. I mean just general respect. Let your opponent speak. Let them apply their information. Let them show their scans. Let them give their, let them say their piece instead of talking over them. Like, I felt like All Sunday was interrupted a lot, and Chuck really shouldn't have resorted to that. Like, even when I watched All Sunday's debate with Splash, and Splash pretty much beat him in that debate, no difficulty. Like, even Splash was humble. He let All Sunday speak his claims, let him talk what he needs to say, and then of course he said what he needed to be said. So yeah, that was my only gripe. My gripes about Chuck in that debate. So I'm going to talk about All Sunday in terms of cons. So All Sunday, I was very disappointed in that debate. You came to the debate very unprofessional. You came unorganized. Now, you should never come to a debate unorganized. You must have your scans with you. Now, I know you said in the debate that you had your scans and you kind of didn't. You said some of your friends had your scans. No, that's not good enough. Your mates shouldn't be responsible for your scans. They shouldn't have your scans. You should have the scans with you. Your friends should have gave you those scans, not through no Instagram or whatever. You needed the scans with you, because you can't really do much in the debate if you don't have your scans, and if you can't submit information. You're not going to turn up to work and not have your work uniform and just go to your boss. Oh well, I kind of have my work uniform, I kind of don't. You see, it's at home. That's not good enough. You need to come prepared in a debate. Another problem I had with the debate was that you made a lot of claims during the debate and you didn't back it up. You gave no proof, you gave no evidence. Come on, All Sunday, this is standard, this is standard procedure. If you're going to make a claim about something or someone, you need to have evidence to back up your claim. You can't just throw it out there and just throw caution in the wind and be like, oh wow, I just said it. Well, do you have a trump card? Like, none of that. No, you need your evidence. Your evidence is your ammunition. You can't point a gun with no evidence, with no ammunition. Your gun's useless. So it's a similar aspect in that situation. You need your evidence, because without that, as I said before, your claim will just be whiff. Your claims will mean nothing, because there's nothing to back up your claim. That was an issue I had throughout the debate. He made a lot of fallacies. So the no limits fallacy, about Superman not being able to be hurt on a physical level. You said that he can only be hurt by his weaknesses. Come on, All Sunday, this is not Death Battle. Stop with the Death Battle mentality. This is what makes Death Battle garbage, because they would resort to that stuff. They would say, just like the whole outlier with with the whole no limits fallacy, with the whole Ganondorf versus Bowser, about how Ganondorf can't get hurt unless by holy weapons, which is absolute shit. That's not true. Ganondorf can get crushed by anyone who's above him. So yeah, there are also some scans as well. Martian Manhunter has hurt Superman on a physical level. Darkseid has hurt Superman on a physical level. You said some rubbish claim about, well, he's Darkseid, he's a being, and he was fighting Superman on a different plane of existence, yet you gave no proof. And I don't understand what you mean by that, because when Darkseid and Superman have fought, they have fought in the flesh. They have fought physically, toe to toe. They've both slugged each other, and Darkseid has slugged Superman, and Darkseid doesn't use magic or anything like that. And hell, even Aquaman and his wife have slugged Superman, and yes, they were off guard. Well, he was off guard, my bad. Superman was off guard, but that still proves my point that Superman can get hurt on a physical level. And even if we imply your illogical argument about this whole no limits fallacy with Superman not being able to get hurt, because if we do imply that, then how on earth is he able to get hurt when he's off guard? How on earth is he's able to get hurt if he's holding back? He shouldn't get hurt whatsoever. So again, that contradicts your whole illogical claim. So yeah, Superman can get hurt on a physical level by characters who are above him or are equal to his power. This goes for everyone. Don't know why you try to say, oh well, these characters can do this and that. Okay, so what? Superman can still get clapped on a physical level. But yeah, that's it for the no limits fallacy. You also made a name fallacy about the Galactic Golem. That is not enough to go off just because he has Galactic in the name, or anything like that. That doesn't mean he's galaxy level. That's like me saying, oh well, let's use Fist of the North Star. It has star in the name, so that means Kenshiro is star level. Oh, okay, let's the Big Bang Attack, like Vegeta's Big Bang Attack. Oh, that's universal. If we're and I'm talking about Android Saga Vegeta, who is nowhere near Super. I'm not talking about Dragon Ball Super. I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z. That the Big Bang Attack he used on Android 19, I believe, was not universal, nowhere near. So yeah, you can't be using name fallacies unless you have sufficient evidence to back up that person is that level. You also, in terms, in terms of other things, you used a lot of outliers. Now, I'm not a fan of outliers. You really shouldn't use outliers to determine who wins a fight, because outliers aren't consistent. outliers don't hold a lot of weight, and you saying, oh well, he did the feat. Okay, yeah, he did the feat, but you know, that impressive feat, but it's not consistent enough. You know, you can't be using outliers. It's like, you know, with the amazing world of Gumball. You know, when Gumball survived the end, you know, the end of the world, the Big Bang. He, you know, that should make him universal in terms of durability. But consistently, Gumball gets bodied by fodder characters who are street level, building level, hell, even town level, and those types of levels are piss poor. Don't even scale nowhere near. Doesn't even scratch the surface of fucking universal. Hell, not even planetary. Nowhere near it. So yeah, you shouldn't really use outliers. You should stay with consistency. And Chuck also makes a good point, you know, in terms of consistency, because if we just go off just outliers, you get fucked up scaling. It doesn't make sense, you know. Like I could just use pure outliers and go, okay, well, this character, he can bust a planet, and there's another scan where this character, he was not able to destroy a town, and when he punched a wall, he hurt his knuckle, and he wasn't able to do that. But there's a next scan of him destroying a universe. You see what I mean? That's why you don't use outliers, because they're not consistent. That, you know, that it's a crazy scaling. It's a crazy, you know, imbalance, as I should say. But yes, that's pretty much it for the cons. I'm going to talk about the pros for Chuck. Now, pros, Chuck made a lot of good arguments. He pretty much he had his scans ready. He had everything to introduce during the debate. He was organized. And also, another thing, you guys had time to do this. It's not like, I'd understand if it was just last minute, you know, but you had like, what, a week or so? Unacceptable. But regardless, Chuck gave a lot of good points. He backed it up. He gave the calculations, of course, for Cooler, you know, being at his level. And of course, he gave those scans, and he knew what he was talking about. And in terms of that, that's pretty much it for Chuck. In terms of pros, he just knew what he was talking about. He gave good arguments, and of course had his scans ready. In terms of you, All Sunday, in terms of your pros, you did show up to the debate. I will give you respect to that. Again, one thing I do have respect for you, All Sunday, is that you don't shit talk. You back it up. You don't duck. And that's one thing I have respect for you. I do not respect your goons, though, the people who support you, because they like to duck. But you, mate, I give you my 100% respect, because you don't duck, and you back up your shit. And you, even if you get bodied in a debate, what counts is you showed up and you took it like a man. So that's one thing I'll give you props for. Also, All Sunday, another thing I will say is that in terms of pros, you were respectful during the debate. You know, you tried to keep a level head, and I understand when somebody's over talking and being disrespectful, it's very tempting to. So, in terms of my opinion on who won the debate, if we go off like debating rules per se, then obviously All Sunday takes this, because of the whole rule of if you rage quit, it means you concede the debate or whatever. But I'm not really a fan of those rules. But that's how it is, you know, rage quit's a rage quit. But in terms of the debate itself, I'm going to give this to Chuck, because Chuck made a lot of points, a good point. He gave the calc for, of course, Cooler and why he's at that level. Of course, he gave a lot of, he showed scans, he came prepared, he had everything, you know, to go, everything ready to go. He knew what he was talking about, and there was no inconsistencies or anything in that sense. The reasons why I didn't give this to All Sunday in terms of the debate itself, debating wise, was because All Sunday was just all over the place. All Sunday, again, making claims, no evidence, nothing to back up your claim. You can't just say things and call it a day. You got to give your evidence. You can't just throw caution out the wind and go, okay, well, I claim this, and have no evidence to back it up. Again, a gun with no ammo is not going to be very useful to you in terms of arguments. But yes, overall, I think this debate could have went, a lot better if, you both had, if you both kind of analyzed the situation better. If Chuck was a little bit more respectful and didn't overtalk you, and All Sunday, if you actually did better research, was more organized, and you didn't use fallacies and all this stuff. In fact, I had a feeling you were going to win that debate All Sunday. But yes, folks, that's pretty much it for the video. Just wanted to give my thoughts on this debate. One more thing also, All Sunday, I am subscribed to you. I don't hate you personally, whatsoever. I feel as if you really do need to improve as a debater. You need to stop this no limits fallacy shit. Stop using fallacies, stop using outliers, be consistent, because I'm telling you now, I'm not no DBC tard or Superman tard, because I'm telling you All Sunday, I give justice to all characters. If I watched a video of somebody saying, oh, this Superman loses because they said Superman was like war level, I'd make a debunk video and I would debunk that shit, and I would give my scans backing up the fact that Superman is not war level and Superman is very impressive. So don't be calling me don't be calling me no DBC tard, no Naruto tard. I give justice to all characters because I am a justice debater, part of the team, of course, and I always try to give the consistent information. But yes, folks, it's your boy, Forest Green, signing out. Peace.